All right, let's talk about something huge. We're going to tackle this big idea of how to stop just surviving market crises and actually start profiting from them. Yeah, you heard that right. It's all about a strategy called the pyramid, a game plan for turning that gut-wrenching fear into a massive opportunity. So, let's dive in.
It's the question that probably wakes you up in a cold sweat, right? What if the market just tanks? And I mean violently. Your portfolio is a sea of red, the news is just screaming crash, and every single instinct in your body is yelling at you to get out, sell, run for the hills. But here's the thing, acting on that gut feeling, that raw panic, it's almost always the absolute wrong move. Our brains are hardwired to feel the pain of a loss way more intensely than the joy of a gain. Giving into that fear can be, and usually is, one of the most expensive mistakes you'll ever make as an investor. So let's start right there. Let's unpack that fear. It's so important to understand why we have this powerful, almost primal reaction when we see the market take a nosedive.
And here it is, the single most common mistake, hands down. Selling at the absolute worst possible moment. Just when prices hit rock bottom, that's when people rush for the exits to stop the bleeding. But what they're really doing is guaranteeing their losses become permanent.
This slide lays it out perfectly. You've got two paths. On the left, that's your instinct talking. Sell! Stop the losses! It feels like the safe thing to do in the moment. But on the right, that's the golden rule for anyone in it for the long haul. Do not sell. You have to give the market a chance to breathe, to recover, because history shows us time and time again that it does. Okay, but what if we could do more than just grit our teeth and survive a crash? Now we're going to flip the script completely. What if a crisis wasn't something to be afraid of, but something to actually get ready for? Something that could be a huge opportunity. You've probably heard this one, but it is pure gold from the master himself, Warren Buffett. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. This is the core mindset shift. When everyone else is panicking and dumping their stocks, that's your signal to lean in and start paying very close attention. And this slide, this is maybe the most powerful idea of all. A crisis isn't destiny. It's a sale. Seriously, think about it like that. When your favorite brand has a 50% off sale, do you run away in terror? Of course not. You rush in to buy the things you love at a massive discount. Well, the stock market is exactly the same. But listen, you can't go shopping if your wallet is empty. So to take advantage of these incredible market-wide sales, you first have to build yourself a safety net. We call this your strategic reserve. It's your war chest. It's a pile of cash you've specifically set aside in a very safe place, totally away from market risks. It's just sitting there, waiting, ready to be deployed when these amazing buying opportunities pop up. This is your financial insurance policy, but it's also your psychological one. So, how big a pile are we talking about? A good rule of thumb, a classic guideline, is to keep about 30% of your total investment money in this reserve. Now, of course, that number can shift based on your own comfort level with risk, but it's a really solid place to start building your plan. And building it is actually pretty straightforward. First, you just decide on your percentage. Second, you park that cash in a low-risk, easy-to-access account. And third, and this is the big one, you promise yourself you will not touch it for everyday stuff. This money has one job and one job only, to wait for the big sale. Okay, safety net is in place. We're feeling prepared, not scared. Now it's time for the action plan. Let's get into the pyramid strategy itself. I love this visual because it just makes so much sense. A pyramid is wide. It's strong at the base, right? Well, your investing is going to work the same way. The principle is simple. You invest more money as the market drops further. You buy a little bit when the sale starts and a whole lot more when things are in the clearance bin. Now this table shows you exactly how this works in the real world. Let's imagine you have a €1,000 reserve ready to go. Notice how the amount you invest gets bigger and bigger? After a small 10% dip, you only put in €10. But if the market really craters and drops 50%, you deploy a much bigger chunk, €260. The beauty is, it's all decided ahead of time. No emotion, no guesswork, just following the plan. Now, having a plan is one thing, but actually sticking to it when all hell is breaking loose, that's another story. For this to work, you have to live by a few golden rules. And at the end of the day, it all boils down to this choice, right here on the screen. It's the battle going on inside your own head. Are you going to let emotion run the show, which always leads to panic? Or are you going to trust the plan you made,
which leads directly to opportunity. So here are the traps you've got to watch out for. Don't throw all your money in at the first sign of a dip. Don't you dare use money that you need for rent next month. And it goes without saying, absolutely never ever sell in a panic. Don't let fear or greed make you ditch your strategy.
The whole point of this entire system, the reserve, the pyramid, all of it, is to do one thing, to take your emotions out of the driver's seat. You're not guessing, you're not panicking, you are simply executing the cold, rational plan you made when you were thinking clearly. And one last, really important piece of the puzzle. After the storm has passed and the market is recovered, your job isn't done. Now you have to slowly, steadily rebuild that strategic reserve. You got to fill that war chest back up so you're ready for the next time.
Because look, this isn't just some clever trick to make a bit more money. This is about buying back your freedom. When you have a plan to face down the chaos, you're taking back control. You're turning a source of anxiety into a source of real power. You are securing your own financial freedom.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next crisis is coming. That's not an if, it's a when. The only real question is, how are you going to respond? Are you going to suffer through it like everyone else, or are you going to profit from it? The choice is entirely up to you.